Hey everyone, welcome back once again to Vicious Chats. I'm Tim Vicious. With me today, she is a queen amongst nerds. I've known this girl for quite a while. It's pretty sure roughly about 10 years, give or take, we've known each other. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the episode of Miss Penny Lane. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. You know,
Right.
not even if I could, Wade wouldn't let me because, my producer Wade, he wouldn't let me because he likes to be a d-bag like that. But yeah, I was, and it's funny because I brought it up to you when I first hit you up, and when I first hit you up to come on to this show, I was thinking in my head, how did we cross paths at first? And it popped in my head. We were both following the same Twitter account. If for those that know, they will know.
Yeah.
The account Liz Vicious, no relation. And
No relation.
she was, I have to put that out there. Also, for the record, no relation to Sid Vicious from wrestling either.
Yeah.
But we were both following the same account, and then she put out a thing talking about on how alt girls can be just as hot, or if not hotter than like the trendy pop star looking ones. And we were both like one of the first two. We were both like the first two people to jump on there. Like, hell yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's like, and now thanks to the internet, and all these years later, now thanks to the internet, we finally have validation because show of hands, how many people have a thing for thick goth dummy mommies? Thank you. Thank you. That's it. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
That's a hell yes for me. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. In which case, I have the biggest sense of pride in my one nephew, because my one nephew, who's my godson, he wound up actually, he's got a goth girl, and he's like, dude, what do you think, Uncle Tim? I'm like, it's yours? Yes. I couldn't be more proud of you.
I'm
more
so
prouder
proud
of you, man. Come here. Come here. You should praise this boy. Praise him, I say.
You're everything that I imagined you to be. I'm so proud of you.
Yes. Yes. Which is funny because my brother constantly is like messaging me like, I swear, it's like I'm raising you all over again. He's like a carbon copy of you. Because so just the random oddities and the weird stuff he'll just randomly throw out there, like, hey Dad, how come if stores are open 24/7, why do they got locks on the door? That's the kind of shit your uncle would ask. What is wrong with you?
Oh man.
That's so yeah. So how's Callie been treating you? Yeah, how you been holding up?
Hot.
Yeah.
Hot. Yeah, ridiculously hot.
Yeah, it's just as bad over here in PA.
Oh man.
I think the temp right now is like in the 80s.
Yeah, like I would have done this inside. My background would have been so much better. My makeup wouldn't be melting off. But I was like, hey, you know what? I gotta go outside. It is way too hot. And now I'm actually really rethinking that, because I'm just like, it's still way too hot.
Oh, girl, whatever. Please, you are fabulous. And folks, this is the normal kind of way we talk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, it's been like that here. Yeah.
So what about you? Any like thing that's like popped up recently that you're just like, I need to talk about this. I need to talk about with some other nerd.
Well, I wanted to bring up on that because I was, I've been like springboarding this off myself for like the past couple months, but this has probably got to be hands down the best time in our lifetime to be a nerd, because growing up, I don't know about you, but I was that nerd that got made fun of for liking anything from like 70s, 80s, or 90s. If you could have been made fun of liking it, then I was that kid.
Oh yeah.
And still am.
Yeah, I get that a little bit still too.
Yeah.
Until I educate them a little bit more, and I'm like, but this is actually really cool. And they're just like, shit, that is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like now, because I'll randomly throw out like a line from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy to my son, and he'll be like, because I take him to the gym with me now
Uh-huh.
and be like, oh, wait, gotta have your towel. What?
Yeah.
Never go anywhere without a
Never
towel.
go anywhere without a towel.
Exactly. And he just look, he'd be like, what?
What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, and he'll look at me like I got 9 heads, and he's now at that he's yeah. See, not sure if I get dad points or not because I'm having to do the math in my head for age, but he's 15 now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my kid's birth date on my wrist, so I'm just like, okay, wait, there it is. She's 16.
Oh, wow.
So I gotta do the math too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, if it's any consolation, I had my mom fooled when I was younger. I had her thought I was born in 86 and said 85 for a year straight.
My parents to this day will still be like, how old are you? What age are you turning? And so I'll just keep doing lower and lower and lower. And I'm just like, oh, I'm 27. And they're like, no. And I'm like, you should know. But then again, I should know, and I do the math. So
hey, I forget my own birthday all the time. I got to make a reminder on my calendar all the time.
That's
like
my national holiday, so I don't forget my birthday.
Now you see, if I can remember anyone outside, if I can remember, I remember my dad's, my mom's, my son, and my one brother. If I can remember anyone else outside of that list, you need to consider yourself lucky. I remembered naturally instead of having to get reminded. Like, dude, did you say something to so and so for their birthday? Yes. Click,
yeah,
click,
I totally
click.
did.
Happy birthday text. Awkwardly sending. But yeah, this is hands down like the best time to be a nerd now, especially with like the news that broke over Comic-Con. Yep. RDJ's now back as Doom.
Dr. Doom, like, whoa!
Yes.
I didn't see that coming.
Yes,
I knew that they had to change everything after Jonathan Majors, but I didn't see that coming.
Honestly, my bet was going to be Callum Murphy. I thought it was going to be Callum Murphy.
Yeah,
I thought that he would have been perfect for it.
He really would have.
I'm not arguing.
He really would have.
Yeah, and I'm not arguing.
I thought that was where they were going to go with that. But then, we see all the videos from the panel, and of course, it's Robert Downey Jr. So it was just kind of like, what? Like, at first, I really kind of thought, because Robert Downey Jr. likes to do, he likes to kind of troll here and there. So at first I thought, okay, well, maybe he's coming out, took the mask off, and going to announce who it is. But then it's like, nope, it's him. So I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, like
that was wild.
I saw that and I was just like, oh my god. Like I got that. I messaged my brother immediately. I'm like, dude, Doom is coming. And he was just like, his reaction was like he called me up almost immediately after that, like, how in the actual hell multiverse?
Yeah.
That explains a lot then. Yeah.
Yep.
It just, whoa. And, then I got all super nerd on him explaining the different, explaining they did the one what if where Stark became Doom, and on how in the main continuity, Doom was actually Iron Man at one point. And he was like, dude.
Yeah, so it does make sense, but the MCU likes to, they'll play with the already, the meta media, but then they kind of, do their own thing. So, like I said, it was like I didn't expect it, but then it was just like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Like,
Yeah, because what was it, like months before it was even announced? There were fanboys putting out posts saying, "Oh man, it's going to be him, and putting up fan art, and I'm just thinking, it's feasible, yeah, but would they really want to?
Yeah,
because I don't know, because it on one hand, I was super excited thinking on the idea, but at the same time, I kept thinking, how are people going to take this? Are they going to look at this as like a step backwards, or?
Right. I was concerned about that too. I was concerned that people were going to start, it's more fodder for them to say, well, the MCU is a big joke, because we did get a lot of those people saying, well, it fell off, it's weak, blah, 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 this and that. So I was concerned that people were going to take it as, oh, well, okay, they're just recycling, and, their biggest, like, moneymaker is now coming back as something else. So, I pictured people shitting on it the way they do, like, Days of Our Lives and soap operas, where it's like, okay, so now so-and-so's back as their twin brother. So, like, I expected
Yeah.
that, but the way that it was received online, really, I didn't really expect that much hype, honestly. I expected a lot of skepticism, but everything that I'm seeing, everyone's just extremely excited.
Yeah, I've seen nothing but positive feedback on it, which is saying something because, and I had this discussion openly. After Endgame, it was like that was peak. That was the plateau. Yeah. It was, you built up 10 years up to that point. Okay. Yeah. Now what do we do after that? And now it feels like a lot of fans are holding Endgame up to that standard, and they see everything else like, well, Echo's down here, it sucked. She-Hulk's down here, it sucked. Like, okay, guys.
See, I was waiting for everybody to just shit all over it, because everything that has come out since, people have not really received it very well. Well, I think that some of that is a little bit of oversaturation, because, we did get them few and far between, but with, Disney Plus, you're getting these shows almost yearly. So I can see where some people will be a little tired of it, because now, it's different, like the She-Hulk show. Not a lot of people really vibed with She-Hulk to begin with, and then they do this show, and then, now they have the Agatha show, and, things like that. And they're not really characters that fans fell in love with over that duration of time in the MCU. That's why Loki did well. That's why WandaVision did well, because they were already established characters that people were familiar with. But when they started going into these other things, it wasn't as big of a hit as like when they brought in Guardians of the Galaxy, which were fringe characters. So to me, I felt like people were getting a little tired of, okay, so now there's another like character we have to learn about. Now there's a blah, blah, blah. Because for more of the mainstream masses, that is the problem. They don't know anything other than the MCU. They're not diehard comic fans like some of us who are like, I know who She-Hulk is. I know who, this person is. I know this. I know this. So when they get introduced as their own show, they're taking it as, well, who the hell is this? And so to me, I think that like oversaturated with the, okay, so now there's somebody else I have to look at, and now there's somebody else I have to learn about, and things like that. So I really didn't expect too much. But I'm glad that I was wrong, because just the way that everybody's been so excited, and the fact that people are excited over the Fantastic Four movie,
Speaking of, I don't know, did you see any of the teaser footage that there were? The video, it would get put out. It got put out online, but it was like almost minutes after it would get posted, it kept getting yanked right away for copyright, which so you had to be quick to see it. It's from what they showed, it's almost like one of those future 60s kind of vibes. Yeah, and at the end of it, you just see Galactus peeking into the inside of the Baxter building.
Interesting.
And you're just like, oh
yeah, shit. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Right now the whole like future 60s thing is really big after the success of the Fallout show.
Not only that, I'm pretty sure, that Pedro Pascal has definitely progressed leaps and bounds from being the detective cop that worked with Wonder Woman in the unaired TV series.
Yep.
Those that know what I'm talking about, know. He went from doing that to being, what was he? Oh God, I had this discussion with my brother. He went and did that. He was Joel in Last of Us, which he knocked out the fucking park.
That was amazing. That
God.
Whole show was brilliant. I loved that whole show.
I can't say I've ever cried at anything zombie related up until that point. Yeah. It was like
the only other one that came close was Train to Busan. I cried during Train to Busan.
The whole time watching Last of Us, just not gonna cry. End credits.
And then they give you that episode.
Okay, I'm gonna go cry now.
And his partner, and you're just like, well, shit, I'm crying.
Well, okay, I'm gonna go cry now.
Yeah, and
Just
it's
like
not
out
just
of
like
Brooklyn
a
Nine-Nine.
tear. You're just going full Dawson Leary, like ugly cry. You're
Yeah,
just, it's just done. It's over with.
yeah. And then he went from a cop working with Wonder Woman to Maxwell Lord to Joel, and now he's going to be Mr. Fantastic. And I got nothing but the utmost confidence he's going to knock that out the
Yeah.
friggin' park.
Yeah. Like, we've been through many incarnations of the Fantastic Four, and not all of them were great. Some of
Now,
them
let me
were
ask you this. Have you ever
very
seen the
poor.
Roger Corman version? It came out. Yeah, it was an old one. It's like an old cult. It's like an old cult one you have to chase after. I think I found the copy on YouTube.
I think I saw that one on a VHS.
Yeah.
Because I bought a crate of VHS tapes for one tape, The Forbidden Zone, the Oingo Boingo movie. And it ended up having all of these other, like, weird cult classics in there, like the Pirate movie and, things like that. And I'm pretty sure one of them was that Fantastic Four and some other, like, weird Dracula movie and stuff. And my friend and I decided, we're going to watch all of the tapes. Let's just see what's on them. And I'm pretty sure that one was one of them. But that was God when I was like, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Did you find any tapes in there that you were like, well, this is something that's going to emotionally scar me for the rest of my life?
There was this one really weird thing about tap dancing, and basically like being possessed by the devil to tap dance until you die or some shit like that. I don't remember like all of it.
Oh my God.
Just that there was a scene where the guy was in the shower and he was like tap dancing, and they like showed his ass and stuff. And my friend was just like, what the hell? Like, why is this guy naked? And then he turns around and they just do like this like shot of his junk, like as he's tap dancing. And me and my friend, we were just like, okay, so I guess we'll turn this off now, because moral of the story, he's got to tap dance till he dies and he can't stop or something like that. It was, I think, in Spanish, and we were just like, I don't know what's going on, but you know what? Let's just turn this off now. Let's just watch something else.
I haven't seen the movie yet, but I don't know. But this one group I'm in on my Facebook gimmick, we all share random stupid memes and all. One of them was based on a movie. It's called Hand Job of the Dead, where a ghost will literally give you one to the point of your death. And I'm just like, that's definitely like, okay, that's one I got to see just on principle alone.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can't not see that. It's just like, you know what? The morbid curiosity will kill me if I don't watch this.
That's like when you first hear about the movie Teeth or Zombievers.
Right,
exactly. You heard about either of those and you're just like, okay, I got to see it. And for those that don't know the movies,
I have to. I'm going to Google it, and when I Google it, other things are going to come up that I don't want to see. So I may as well just go through the direct course to see what that is.
Have an extra tab open for a good therapist right after. Yeah, like, so what brings you here today? Yeah. What brought you here today? My friend suggested a movie.
Well, you see, my friend told me about this movie.
Yeah.
It was a mistake.
Yeah, and for those who may not know the movies I was referencing, Zombiever, literally, mutated zombie beavers.
Yep.
I'm just going to leave it at that. And Teeth, well, the name should be self-explanatory.
Teeth,
guys, it is the most cautionary movie. Yeah, it is the most cautionary movie ever made since Fatal Attraction. I'm putting it out there now. Putting that out there now. It is the most cautionary movie since Fatal Attraction.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
Yeah. This is why you should, there's a reason why Papa Vicious is always warned. Don't go running around with somebody on the first night. Wait until you get to know them.
I've had friends tell me that they were less scarred by Human Centipede than they were Teeth.
Oh my God!
Damn. Okay. Fine.
Oh my God!
I was just like, really? Huh? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
You
just
know,
like,
I was
what does that tell me about your dating habits then? If you're
yeah, and wow. Yeah, and my son now he's starting to turn into a bit of a horror fiend.
uh,
His now yeah, his big thing is like I'll take him to the gym to do weightlifting there like once a week, but we also do at-home exercises.
mhm,
And every other day I'll have him do cardio on the bike.
uh-huh.
And I'll ask him, do you want to watch something while you're doing it, or do you want to just straight up grind through? Can we watch something? Okay. And he's flipping through, he's looking on Peacock, he's like, can I watch Terrifier? I'm not paying for therapy, and if you wake up in the middle of the night on it, it's on you. Okay.
You did
And
this to yourself.
yeah, it's no different than what my parents did with me when I was half his age and openly chose to watch Cannibal Holocaust.
Ooh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't make it past the turtle scene.
Yeah.
I never made it past the turtle scene, and I flat out forbid to ever try and put that movie on for him.
Yep. I
But
had older siblings who they would babysit me, but they would try to force me to stay out of the living room. And so they thought that putting on Faces of Death was going to do it. And so I'm just there, 9 years old, like, what are they doing to that monkey? And they're just like, oh shit, like, why are you behind me? And I'm like, because you told me I couldn't be in here, so I want to be in here. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
yeah, yeah. But
That was
he's
all wrong.
got
But you know what? It
Terrifier
explains a few
on.
things about me.
Yeah, yeah. Freud would look at us and say, "You have issues."
And
Yeah,
then I would just
but
tell Freud, I can't pay for my therapy, but I can make you a lovely taxidermy piece.
oh my god. Oh my god. I
See,
haven't
if I
laughed
was
this hard
doing
doing
this
the show
inside,
yet.
all of my like animal skulls and stuff would be around, and yeah, that explains a lot about me.
Yeah. Yeah. I let him watch Terrifier, and he's the whole time he's watching, he's like, whoa, that is can a body make that much blood? I'm like, you're cool with this? Yeah. It's just a movie. All right, good. You can
Yeah.
differentiate reality from movies. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that. Nice to know you're not going to kill me in my sleep. Thank you.
Right? Thank you for knowing the difference. I feel safe
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. As well as I showed him Hellraiser, the original 87 one. Oh, no, 89. I got my years confused. But I showed him the original Hellraiser. And the whole time he's looking, he's like, whoa. Whoa. He's more of like into the gore and bloody stuff as opposed to like the screw with your head psychological kind of horrors.
Yeah. Because that's more like what's popular now. It's more the instant gratification gore and this and that, rather than the long psychological game that kind of screws with you, like Silence of the Lambs and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which had a good balance between the two. But stuff like House of a Thousand Corpses, yes, there was a lot of gore, but there was a major psychological factor there too. So but now
or
like we have Terrifier and Hostel and Saw, so it's
or
a little
like
less
Invasion
like
from Outer Space. I can't remember the name now. It's the Donald Sutherland one, the Invasion of the Pod People, I think it was, or something like that.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
That's what it is. I couldn't remember. Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
And because anytime I ever watch that screws up my sleep schedule for like the next 2 weeks, because I'm just like, if I sleep, they'll get me. If I sleep, they'll get me. I showed it to him, and almost like immediately afterwards, he's like, all right, I'm going to bed. What? How are you? How did this not mess with you?
Right?
I saw this when I was...
Yeah, The Exorcist is what screwed me up when I was a kid. The Exorcist and the Thriller video. Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Okay.
And my dad
confession time.
loved that music video. And so he recorded off the TV when they did the making of the Thriller video. And so he used to watch it all the time. And so that kind of desensitized me to it enough But The Exorcist, it'll still get me. Like, still, I'm just like, oh no, like I still just. Blah. But then
Is it
then I could
just
turn
The
around and
Exorcist
watch
itself, or is it any Exorcist movie?
just the original The Exorcist.
Okay.
Why? Don't know why. That's the one that stuck with me forever. But I can even watch those like true documentaries like Zach Baggins, Demon House, or whatever like that. And I can even watch those. It'll creep me out a little bit, but
You there? You there? Hello?
are we back?
Yes, we're back.
All right.
Slight technical difficulties. Wade, thanks for that.
Yeah,
Don't
I was just
worry
like,
that
wait, where'd it
don't
go?
worry that dead air got cut. Don't worry that dead air got cut. But yeah, it's here's a set. You brought up that Thriller got you. Confession Time for me. I've only people that know about this are me and my parents. The one scene that creeped me out to no utter end when I was a kid was when E.T. popped out of the bushes and scared the hell out of Elliot. Just like the giant big bug eyes and looking super pasty white. It scared the holy hell out of me from the time I was like, when I was little up until I was like 14. I feel so ashamed now.
That's okay. I know people that were terrified of Mars attacks. So
That's actually that's another one. I got an entire notebook full of movies that I'm looking to show my son. And the problem with me is I grew up watching more movies than I did TV shows. So
yeah.
I got a giant Rolodex up here and I can't remember all the movies. So
Yeah, that
sometimes
was
it'll
me.
just be like I
I
hear a
watched
random name, be
movies
like, "Oh,
on
that's
TV.
what."
Yeah. I didn't start getting super into TV until like, I don't know, just college years, I think. Then I was just binge watching all kinds of TV. Um,
Yeah,
but for the most part, I mean, I lived right down the street from a video store. And it got to the point where I was in there all the time. They just started letting me, okay, if I rented and paid for one, then I would get another one without having to pay for it. And then they'd also let me extend, okay, it's not a 5-day rental. Now I have it for 8 days or, whatever. So I used to pay for three, get three for free, and just watch movies like, and they had a lot of like weird B movie shit there. So I was watching all kinds of weird things. And it gets to the point now, like as an adult, I'm like, you guys haven't seen this movie? And they're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. Because up until about maybe let's see, he's 15 now. Up until he he was 5 the first time he heard somebody from my family, my son, he heard one of us say, "You're killing me, Smalls," from Sandlot, and he's just
Yeah.
looking like, what's that mean? What?
Yep.
Yeah, because I said that to him and it was like, what's that? Wait. Your mom never showed you the Sandlot? No. What? We're working on it. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was on how it went, and
Yep.
then it just became okay. I'm taking over the movie detail because I'm the movie nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then I'm also the computer game nerd. So,
Yes.
like I'll tell my kids, because they're into playing Minecraft, Roblox, things like that, The Sims. And I'm like, what about World of Warcraft? What about Ion? What about, Skyrim? How about some Oblivion? And like, I try to get them on those things, but right now they're still obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's. They've been watching that since I think my youngest was like 7. Oh no, my oldest was like 7 or 8 at the time, and she was just obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's. And bless her heart, she is the most timid little thing. And so I was like, "Doesn't this scare you? Isn't this like? I don't think you should watch this or play this. Like, that seems too scary for you." Nope, nope. She played the game. She beats all these games and all this stuff. she's a really good artist too. So she would draw these characters in super detail. She'd make cardboard 3D models of all these like little like Bonnie and Snaptrap and stuff. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like, you're afraid of literally everything else in life. Like, you timid little thing, but you were obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's. And so she got her little sister in on it, who at the time, they're 3 years apart. So, no, 5 years apart. See? Math. And
Hey, don't feel bad. You got an autistic guy. You found the one autistic guy who's not Rain Man.
And you got the one OCD kid that's not number patterns. Like, that's me. All of my friends with OCD, they're like, yeah, if I multiply this by this and this is my pattern, I'm just like, I just do it with sounds in my head. Dun, 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 dun.
All right, so the volume in your house can be something that's not divisible by 5 or 0.
Exactly, but it has to be something that ends in a 7.
Okay.
It has to be if I'm if I've got the volume going and it's at 17, I'm cool. But if I need it up a little more, okay, I'll settle on 20. But other than that, if I need to go up higher, you're getting 27. So
Yeah. So what games you been working on lately?
Let's see. I'm playing a lot of World of Warcraft, which, you do when you have no social life, or you do when you want to get rid of your social life. You play a lot of World of Warcraft. Also, oh, you know what? I picked up Overwatch again. Overwatch makes me sad now though, because it's Overwatch 2 and it's so much worse. Like like I like playing it for the nostalgia factor because I miss just the actual game mechanics, playing Diva, playing, hit scan and things like that. But the way that it is now and the way that all of the different like meta changes were, it's just kind of like you're not Overwatch anymore. Once Jeff Kaplan left, it kind of just really went downhill. They released Overwatch 2, which was supposed to be a completely separate game, but it's not. It just took the place of Overwatch, period. And so it's kind of meh. So I'll play free play on that. I don't even bother with competitive anymore because it's 5-person, not 6. And there's a lot of like different struggle there because, okay, well, I think it's 2 tanks, 2 hit scan and a healer. And so it's just kind of like, meh. And once they did that, it also tanked the Pro Overwatch League, which I used to work with. So I guess I'm just a little bitter, but I did tap back into Overwatch for a little bit for the summer games. And then I decided to actually play through Fallout 4 like you're supposed to, build your settlements and all that stuff. Because usually when I play Fallout 4, I'm just like, okay, first things first, I get my dog his armor, and then we go fuck shit up in the wasteland. I don't mess with making all these settlements and saving all these people and stuff, which, you should, but I don't. So now I am.
No, I've never really. I just ran around the wasteland, took out some ghouls, fucked the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah. So this time I am. I've got all my encampments and stuff, and then I realized, like, I've been playing for 2 hours, and all I did was build this stupid house.
Which is why I never built houses when I played Skyrim.
Yeah. And then I mod everything too. So, sometimes I get bored and I'm just like, I'm going to put a stupid mod in. Let's see, like, what's the dumbest thing I can find. And there's, like, stuff where, people are dressed in, like, chicken suits or just, like, random shit like that. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to put all of these, like, feral ghouls in chicken suits. Why not? And then I'll go to a place that has a bunch of feral ghouls. And then I end up dying because I'm laughing too much at they're, like, doing all this, but they're in the chicken suit. So, yeah, it's too good. So that's basically what I've been doing.
I'm doing Helldivers 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Borderlands 3 again.
Oh yeah, I was gonna restart Borderlands. I got locked out of one of my Steam accounts, and so I had to rebuy everything. And one of the first things I did was rebuy, all the Borderlands packs and stuff. And I haven't re-tapped into them yet, but I should.
Oh, if you ever get the chance and you got the time and the cash, Helldivers 2 is good. It's a PvE game. It's a PvE online where you're go between two different parts of space where you're doing one area where you could do like Starship Troopers and kill a whole bunch of bugs, or you could do the other side of the galaxy and do like Clone Wars and kill a whole bunch of bots.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And that's honestly the best way I can explain it. And I told that to my one nephew, and he was like, wait, you could do like Starship Troopers or Clone Wars? Yeah. Well, hell, sign me up.
Yeah, that actually sounds really interesting. I'm gonna look into that because I was gonna pick up a new game this weekend, and I was thinking, maybe I'll just give in and actually get Fallout 76, because from what I had heard when it first released, like it went great for a little bit, but then it kind of fell off because not a lot of people were playing, and all this whatever. But with the release of the Fallout TV show, everybody got back into it, and they're doing all these updates and stuff like that. So I was going to buy that, but that actually sounds interesting. Was it Hell's Gate?
Helldivers. Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. It's an online, it's a MMO. Yeah, easy for me to say. MMO PvE. Easy for me to say, right? Yeah, it's on PlayStation and PC. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, so
I mostly play PC.
Yeah, it's all good. Look, anytime you ever do, let me know. Hit me up sometime. We'll try and sync up some night and try and go and take out a couple bugs.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That, I'm just in my cell phone game mode where I'm playing Fallout Shelter, and then the BTS game in the Siam.
Well, hey, never a shame on that. Never a bad thing on that. Because it's, I say this all the time. If Beavis from Beavis and Butthead is cool with BTS, then you know what? By God, that's cool with everyone else. Damn it.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And
I love.
Hopefully,
BTS.
Somebody out there gets that.
You follow me on Instagram. I love.
Oh yeah. I know you do. I'll never argue it. I've listened to some of their stuff. I'm like, damn, they got some good beats right there.
Yeah,
some good
there's
beats.
A lot of people that think that they're just, Dynamite, Butter, the like more poppy tracks that came out during the pandemic, and then they go and listen to some of the rap lines, songs like Cypher and Detrata and stuff like that, and they're just like, these are the same people. Like, yep, those are the same people. Yeah. I love watching the reaction videos on YouTube when American rappers listen to their rap and then they translate the lyrics, and they're like, and these people are directly calling out their label and like, the people putting all the pressure to, spend money and look rich and all that stuff. They're like, if we did that out here, some of us would get dropped by labels and, things like that. And so the reaction videos are pretty good. I like watching those.
Yeah. Speaking of reaction videos, do you ever see those reaction videos of when of like the Gen Z kids trying Mad Dog 2020? Oh my God, I had so much. Yes. Okay, we are old heads here, folks. We are the old heads. We grew up having to pay a homeless guy to go into the liquor store and buy a bottle of Mad Dog 2020.
We used to call it fishing because you would go down to the corner store and there'd be a lot of homeless people. And we'd be like, okay, let's go fishing. Who's going to come and get us our alcohol and our cigarettes?
Yes. And my God, I heard that they were saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to try this up. Whoa, kids, listen, you're not ready to go and do this dance with the devil just yet. No,
you are not ready for this.
Trust us. We are an entire generation. We've blacked out months.
Yes, there are like stuff. Massive chunks of time missing from our teenage years because of this stuff.
Yes, that is a dangerous, dangerous thing.
That's why it made me laugh so hard when people were like, "Oh, Four Locos" and blah blah blah. I'm just like, "Oof, yeah, okay."
my one buddy, he's part of the wrestling network I work with. He just got a sponsorship deal with Four Locos.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we're working on new sponsorships over on my end too. So,
Awesome.
always moving, always a hustling.
Yeah.
But that brings up another part I wanted to ask you on. I know you had the Legion of Nerds set up when we were first running, when we were like right around when we first crossed paths. Like, what gave you the idea to go and start up that?
So I had come from a website called Nerdy Girls, that was based in Ventura, California, and it was a lot of emphasis on, the modeling aspect of it, the cosplay modeling, the nerdy, like sexy photo shoots and stuff. And occasionally, we'd have articles that we wrote up there. We had our own radio show that aired on an online radio station and things like that. But when that kind of started coming to a close, I wanted to include some of the girls from there that still wanted to do this, but also felt like they wanted to do a little more. Plus, I knew a lot of other, guys that obviously couldn't be on Nerdy Girls, so they wanted, to write stuff and do things like that. So then I created Legion of Nerds. And so it was basically just all inclusive, anyone and everyone. Then we had the Legion ladies, who were, the modeling squad. But then, also some guy friends of mine would do, shoots and stuff in their, their cosplays and whatnot. And, we'd host it on the site as well. But I just really wanted there to be a place where anybody and everybody could voice their opinions on these different nerdy topics, these, different things that people wanted to talk about. It was also during the time where San Diego Comic-Con was transitioning from what it used to be into this more like, corporate sponsored, big titan of a thing. So, had a lot of people that wanted to talk about that. So we just kind of went forward with the whole idea that if you wanted to write for me, you could write. Like send me your article. We'd have like kind of almost how BuzzFeed does it, where if you want to write an article for BuzzFeed, you write it out, you send it to them. If they like it, they'll publish it, blah, blah, blah. So I would publish some of these things, and I would get feedback where people would be like, I can't believe my writing is up there. You fulfilled a dream of mine. And that made me feel good. So then we just kept going and kept going. We kept it going for a while. We had the Legion of Nerds podcast, and then, a couple of us moved away and, had to go elsewhere, familial health issues that needed to be taken care of. So it kind of disbanded. But I have been thinking and toying with the idea of bringing something like that back, maybe with less of the focus on the modeling and the cosplay, because right now there are a lot of people that I know that cosplay is just leaving a real bad taste in their mouth, especially after going to some of these conventions this summer. One of the major things that I've been hearing back from San Diego Comic-Con is that it's mostly paid models and cosplayers in these costumes and stuff that are getting all the attention and things like that. And a lot of people that are working really hard, they really are getting overlooked because the people that are being paid to be there by these different companies and stuff, they have all the photographers swarming them and everything. And on one hand, they tell me I'm not really wearing my costume because I want the attention, but also I worked really hard on my costume, so I want the attention. And so it just kind of leaves a bad taste in their mouth. And then another person told me San Diego Comic-Con, where eating disorders go to thrive. And I was like, wow,
Whoa.
what? And they said, yeah, everybody there looks like a rail thin model with giant boobs or a extremely ripped dude with like an 84 pack. And, and I'm just like, oh, that sucks. But briefly during Legion of Nerds, we did touch on the fact that the cosplay community was really tearing a few people to shreds. When I did C4, I put on a comic convention in Ventura for 2 years. We booked Comic-Con cosplay guests, and there had to be an emphasis on the number of likes your page has, so that way we knew that it was, you had the numbers to bring people in. And it was me and two other people. We were looking through it one day, and we were just like, you know what's really shitty? This cosplay couple, they make all of their stuff by hand. They mold their Warbler, they sculpt their things, they do all of this, but they have less numbers than this girl over here, who was sponsored by a bunch of different, cosplay websites. And therefore, if we were to bring this couple to the person doing like the finalization of who the guest is, they wouldn't take them, but they would take her. And so, yeah, it would kind of bug us a little bit, like, oh man, hey, I love beautiful women. I love hot girls. I love hot girls in costumes. I've been a hot girl in costume at one point, but it
Oh,
does kind of
please!
come down.
You put on a Harley Quinn mask, and you still could be a hot girl in a costume.
Thanks. I'm working on getting my cosplay body back. But
well, you still got it. You're the one that even emphasized everyone can do cosplay. Don't matter the body or shape.
Right? Exactly.
So, I mean, I would love to do one for Spike from Cowboy Bebop, but I don't think I could find a wig big enough for me to do his hair.
I'll make it for you. I'll just combine a couple wigs. We'll throw in some extensions. I'll make it for you. I'm good at wig making. I'll do it.
Oh, there you go. And another problem I got, and it's just with a me personal thing. I'm too thick, like compared to what Spike looked like. Spike
is like tall, thin, but I mean, I've seen some pretty ripped Spikes out there, like bigger, thicker Spikes. So, hey. You can
and
do
for
Spike,
those that are just listening,
I'll do Faye, and we'll just go. Let's just go.
Oh, there you go. And for those that are just listening, we're talking about an anime. We're not making any kind of nasty innuendos or references, people.
No, this is an anime.
It didn't hit me until you were saying,
"Oh, jam!" Like this is an anime.
Yeah. Which my son definitely knows. If Dad ever puts on Cowboy Bebop, nope, don't fuck with him.
It's me time.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
All-time favorite anime is Bebop. I don't give a shit what anyone says.
Oh yeah, 100%. That is up there for me, as well as Full Metal Alchemist and Gurren
Which
Lagann.
one? Which
the
Alchemist?
Original Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay. Because I was going to say, is it Alchemist or Brotherhood?
No, Full Metal Alchemist.
Wanted to make sure. Just have to make sure.
And Gurren
Lagann. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I got this back a couple months back. I got the mark of sacrifice. Yeah, I got the mark branded for sacrifice.
Yeah.
I got that back in February. My one nephew, he saw it and he was like, "What's that from?" And I told him it's from Berserker. It's this anime. It's this dark fantasy anime. He was like, "Oh, well, maybe I'll go and look it up." And he pulls out his phone to look it up. And my brother, almost like in a bodyguard way, like, "No, you are way too young to be learning about that just yet."
Don't do it.
Never use Berserker as a gateway anime, folks.
No,
never.
No. Accidentally, my nephew, one of his gateway animes came from. He was looking at my anime stuff one day, and he was like, "What's this book?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just a notebook. Why does it say Death Note on it?" I was like, "Oh, because it's from an anime." And he's like, "Oh, cool." And then he went and looked up the anime, and then was watching it, and I didn't even know. And I'm like, I guess that one's not that bad, but I would have started you off on something way different.
Yeah, because what's it? Do you remember your gateway one?
Oh gosh. I mean, technically Sailor Moon every morning before elementary school. Because from Sailor Moon, I went into a lot of the magical girl stuff, and then from there I went into, what was the first super heavy anime that I watched? Maybe Wolf's Rain? No, that came later. I would say probably the one that just really broke me into everything was Sailor Moon, because that was elementary school.
Mine was Ronin Warriors. It would be Saturday mornings, 7 or 8 a.m. And it would be on this one random syndicated channel. And me and my brother, we would just sit there and oh, wow. and that was it. And then eventually, after seeing Ronin Warriors, then I saw all these other ones like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and then it just spiraled down, and I just went deep down that proverbial rabbit hole from there.
I think the one that was my gateway into ones that I have been watching was Eon Flux in like 5th grade when it was on MTV.
Oh, yes. Loved Eon
Yes.
Flux.
Yes.
Yes.
That was such a good show. And I was just like,
Yes.
what the hell? But that was amazing. So yeah, that one I would say would be the gateway into, you probably shouldn't be watching this in 5th grade, but you know what? Here we are.
Yeah. So here's a funny story. During COVID with lockdown, my son, we would do random different things just to help keep him occupied, entertain him, and all that. And like we would do an anime night where I would let him pick out a different show to watch on Funimation. And he picked the original Dragon Ball. Oh. And he was watching that. And then out of nowhere, Dad, you remind me of Master Roshi. Because we both got bald. Is it because we're both bald and bearded? No, you both act funny and you look like you get a nosebleed when you're around pretty girls. Ow. I couldn't even argue with him on that. Like, I couldn't even argue with him on that. Like, I will give you that. Man. That is fair. And that is accurate. That is dangerously accurate. Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah. Yeah, well, when you've been flying solo for as long as I have, you tend to...
From the mouths of babes.
Yeah. Yeah, kids are the harshest critics out there.
Yep.
It's sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're doing good. Hopefully, you can get the Legion stuff back up and running. You make sure you let me know.
I will.
Because I'll do whatever I can to help out on that. And I got to thank you also because you doing that was also what introduced me to Kevin. Mm-hmm. And me and him, God, you've seen the way me and him talk.
Yeah.
We're like joint at the freaking hip on everything.
And Kevin was one of the ones who wrote to me to tell me that, it was the fulfillment of a dream of his to write for a nerd website. And, I love Kmart. That's my buddy. I love Kevin.
Yeah. And oh God, you're gonna laugh at this now, but another random memory I had that popped in. I just got done the gym the one day, and I was circling through the mall, which was right near, and I stopped into FYE because I wanted to grab a new set of earbuds, and I saw they had Walking Dead Dixon chick shirts, and I pulled out my phone immediately. It was like, hey, I know you and Kiddo were asking for Dixon shirts. They got 2 here that you said were your size. You want me to grab them for you real quick? And like, you couldn't respond yes fast enough.
Yes, exactly.
Like, I don't know if you remember that. It was just a random thing that popped in my head. Like, oh my God.
I absolutely remember that.
Yeah.
It was actually through one of the people that we worked with Nerdy Girls. His name was Chris Blackburn. Unfortunately, he did pass away, but he was one of my business partners, and we did the Central Coast Comic-Con together as well for the 2 years that I did it. I went to Image Comics Expo with him in, it was Oakland. And that's when I got to meet Steve Yeun and Norman Reedus. And we got to, meet and talk to them and stuff. And first, I don't know how he did it, but for some reason, all of these celebrities were just so close with Chris. And so we were running into people left and right. I mean, the founding fathers of Image Comics all signed my Nerdy Girls shirt. Like, we were just, we were in the panels and doing all that. And that's some of my, my favorite memories of going to these comic conventions, because they just all knew him and they all just flocked to him like, hey, Chris, blah, blah, blah. And so getting to meet Gerald Dixon that way, Norman Reedus was like insane. And of course, the first thing out of my mouth was, I loved you when you were on Charmed.
How do you take that?
And he was like, oh my God. He goes, nobody's brought that up to me in a while. He goes, I actually did that as a favor for Rose McGowan. And I said, well, it was an awesome, episode arc. So, I mean, I loved you on Charmed. And then
I'm pretty sure you could tell from the background right here where, he popped up on my radar.
Right.
Boondock Saints.
Exactly. I used to have that same poster.
That was
And we
actually
did
a
talk
Father's
about
Day
that.
gift.
We talked about Boondock Saints for a second because he was like, and you know, Sean was also on Charmed. I said, yep, you were both on Charmed. And he was like, yeah. He goes, so that's a little funny story that we like to, you know, say that, you know, we've both been on this doing a favor for one of the respective sisters, because I guess Sean's was a favor to Alyssa, I believe. But you know, Norman was on as a favor to Rose McGowan. So we talked about that, and he was just like, people don't bring that up. That's like, wow. And I was like, yeah, I do. I love
Yeah, well,
Sean.
hey, we all got introduced to different characters in different ways. You know, my son got introduced to Chris Evans, seeing him as Captain America. I got introduced to Chris Evans, seeing him as one of the 7 X's from Scott Pilgrim. Okay.
Also, not another teen movie.
There you go. That's another one. Yeah. So you know, yeah, we are not the It's like that. It's like that one meme. We are not the same.
Exactly. Absolutely. And or people that are like, Aubrey Plaza was in Scott Pilgrim, and I'm like, yeah. Like, what?
How do you not know this?
How did you not know that? How did you not know that was her? Like, really?
Yeah, it's like saying oh god, I can't. It's like saying you didn't know Brandon Roth was in it, but you recognize Brandon Roth from Superman, but you don't recognize him from Scott Pilgrim.
Right.
Like, seriously?
Yeah.
He was the vegan X.
Yeah. Milk and eggs.
That age. Yeah. Oh, this is the most I've laughed during a show I can think yet, man.
Well, I'll come back on and then we'll just do like obscure 80s and 90s TV and movie references.
Oh, definitely. You know, I say this to everyone, you know, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come on here. You know, you could have been out there doing a million different other things, but, you know, you chose to sit here and, you know, you got my thanks for that. I do appreciate it. You know, you're definitely more than welcome to come back anytime.
I will be back. Anytime you're ready for me, I will come back.
Oh, okay, definitely. Any links, any socials, anything that you want to give a plug on?
If you feel so inclined to follow me on my social media, I am at Miss Penny Lane on Instagram. You know, you're in store for a lot of like shit posting, BTS memes, occasionally my face, but you know, I'm witty, I'm charming. Follow me.
She's got sass, she's got wits, and well, we can't say the rest, otherwise the FTC will get on us.
I've been doing squats, so yes, I do have the ass.
Well, you see, there you go. Hey, squats are fundamental, and that's the difference between having a butt and an ass.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
And on that bombshell.
With that, folks, again, thanks for taking the time to listen to the show today. Thank yous for listening. See you guys next time.